Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Happy greetings to you wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in. This is Jennifer from Personal Power Wellness for Life, for coaching, for good energy. And the topic at hand is what's for dinner, or what's for lunch, or what's for breakfast. What are you going to eat tonight? And that's a great question because maybe we all do that, right? Unless you're fasting, unless you're not having dinner, unless you had another meal earlier and that was it. Whatever the case, the next time you sit down to eat, let's reflect on today itself, only today, and ask yourself if you're making a lot of assumptions in your life on a daily basis. And I know that I do, and I am, and they are not always serving me. And it's something that I have to be very present and aware about. And that's where self-awareness and consciousness comes into play, and being mindful. And on the other hand of that, I would like to loop that in or tie it in with another concept that I heard today, which is about self-care. And so we can use we're going to assume things because it's what our brain automatically does. It jumps to conclusions, it makes inferences, it comes to its own hypotheses, to its own guesstimates and basic assumptions. What you think is true without clear evidence or concrete evidence. It's just based on what you are assuming, what you think will happen, or what you think is true about the situation, but it's not based in real evidence. And as I said, I do that on a daily basis. But as I grow older and wiser and more experienced with life on a daily basis, we realize that we make so many assumptions about ourselves, our behavior, about others, about what they're thinking, about whether they like us or not, whether they judge us or not, whether it's going to be a good night or a bad night, or if you're going to anything. Honestly, you could take this to anything, whether you're going to gain weight or lose weight, or feel good or feel bad, or have a good day or have a good night, or whatever it is. You're making an assumption. And I invite you, and I would love for you to take today alone and to just look back on your day and ask yourself if there's anything you're worried about. And if there's anything that you are concerned about, or maybe that you learned today, or that you've been thinking about that really worries you and it's on your mind. It could be about your job or your health or your finances, your future, your family or relationships. And I'd like you to just reflect or just consider, ask yourself whether it's based in concrete evidence and whether you know it's definitely true, or if it's just an assumption that your mind automatically defaulted to and jumping the gun in terms of expecting the worst or catastrophizing, exaggerating, generalizing, or just plain old blowing things out of proportion, or making a mountain out of a molehill. Because when I do that, I have to bring myself back down into reality and remind myself that's just an assumption. Self, Jennifer, John, Nikki, Paul, whoever you are, Adam, am I assuming something without evidence, or is it true? Has the person said this? Is there evidence and concrete factors that I know that mean that this is going to happen? Because unless there is, remind yourself, that means that it's your brain using its own protective reptilian brain mechanisms to protect you, to take care of you, so that you can prevent pain in the future or to avoid future suffering. But we can do that now by going in a different direction and having yourself a great big meal and a daily diet of self-care. And this self-care, it doesn't require money. It doesn't require going to the salon or going to the men's shop, the barber shop, or having a beer or eating anything, actually. It's just based on telling yourself, you know what, I'm not going to scare myself. I'm not going to be as afraid as I want to be, or as my brain wants to be, without evidence. If there's no reason to be afraid in advance, then it's not going to serve me. So just bring yourself back into the present and feed yourself self-care by not scaring yourself or tormenting yourself. And I think that sounds like confirmation from the universe that, oh, I think I have a piece of hair. So basically, take care of yourself, starting with your mind, because whatever you do in your actions is going to emanate from what you're thinking. I learned that a lot from Abraham Hicks and from so many other contemporary modern teachers. It's what we're thinking. It's what you're thinking. Just because you're thinking it does not mean that it's true. Just because you're afraid now, it doesn't mean that the reason you're afraid in your imagination is actually going to be true. If you don't feel good, it doesn't mean that you're going to die soon, right? It just means you don't feel good today. If you're tired because you slept less hours last night, it just means you're tired today. It doesn't mean you're going to feel tired tomorrow or the next day or next year. You're just feeling this way today. So remind yourself, when you're going to eat a big plate of fear and assumptions, hold back, because maybe that's not what you want to put into your body, and that's not on your diet. Whether you're keto or vegan or carnivore or traditional omnivore, or just don't follow anything, you just eat whatever vibes the best with you in the moment, whatever you follow your intuition. Remind yourself that it all starts with what we're thinking, and we begin the plate in our hands and the food in our mouth with what we're thinking we're going to have. So go back to today itself. What's happened to you today? Maybe something happened that worried you, and ask yourself, what am I worried about? And am I assuming something in advance that actually I don't know? I don't know if it's going to be as bad as I imagine. I don't know. Hey, Brian. Hey, thanks for tuning in, brother. Hello from here to you. Thanks, bro. So yes, to you, my friends, I know this will benefit us because it certainly resonates with all. We're all the same. We really are. We all eat and we all think. And so the question is, what makes the difference between you and me? Between myself and the stranger in the street or the receptionist? It's just what we're thinking. What makes a difference between the happy person and the bitter, resentful person that you avoid, right? It's what we're thinking in our head. And then depending on what you think, that will affect and influence your next action. So then it would mean that you would create more of the same, and that you're feeding into believing this is true, and you're making that evidence become more and more true in real life, when actually it all just started with you based on your imagination. Not because there was evidence, not because it was true, just because you thought it might be the case. But why don't you think the opposite? Right? I have to stop being lazy, and I have to stop just defaulting to my traditional thoughts of fear and self-protection and defensiveness. And these are qualities that we all tend to have to some extent at different times. So again, I want you to look back on what is frightening you today. It could be as simple as, I'm afraid that I'm not going to sleep well tonight because my kids will wake me up, or because my husband still isn't here and I'm waiting for him to have dinner, whatever it is. Or I'm afraid that I can't see my family at the end of this year because of the global situation, right? That's an example, very, very tangible to a lot of us. Or that you won't have the finances next year because your job is not 100%, it's not a 150% confirmed. I don't know, maybe your company is going through changes. But do you know that to be true today? Did they give you a letter that said next year you will be redundant, or this evening is going to really suck and you're not going to sleep enough? No one has given you that paper yet. No one gave it to you in writing, and you don't have the receipt for it. So it's not true until it's proven true by the evidence. And eventually, a huge part of that really depends on whether you want it to be true and whether you feed into that. So just as you feed into that plate of food, it will feed back into you. So what are you eating tonight? What's for dinner? And I'm just having a plate of delicious, taking it easy, expecting the best, knowing that things are always working out for you, that things are working out for you just fine. You're in the right place right now at the right time, and just guide your thoughts one by one in baby steps in the direction you do want. Make it up as you go in the good direction, in the peaceful direction. Hey, it might be nice tonight. I would love to have this happen. Wouldn't it be great if it worked out better than I imagined? Isn't this actually maybe what I've wanted all along, but I don't know that yet? And it just takes more time for us to see that, right? Like a baby. A baby's born from a little fetal creation in the uterus, and then it grows into an adult, into a human. Like me, I was once non-existing in physical form, but then my parents came together, and your parents came together before you existed in physical form, and then you came to be, and now you're looking at this video holding your phone. It's really amazing. So just like that miracle happened, even more miracles can happen in your life, and you're open to it. So be open to that, okay? So that's it for now, friends. Go ahead and have a great dinner or lunch or breakfast, and I hope you really enjoy your diet, and may your diet fulfill your dreams in the highest and best and goodest, utmost wonderful, blessed of ways. And it will be so. It will be so, and so it is. And let's just keep moving forward one day at a time. Be at peace, be blessed, and see you soon. Thank you for tuning in to this video from Personal Power Wellness Coaching Land and Universe from Jennifer. See you soon. Bye for now.